is Phil Gordon with bestchiropracticpatient.com, and I'm sitting with Annie King, my CranioSacral Therapist. People are always asking me, Phil, tell me, what should I do? My back hurts. Should I go to the chiropractor? Should I go to the massage therapist? Should I go to the acupuncturist? Who should I go to? All those different modalities are important for different things.
My name is Annie King, and I'm a CranioSacral Therapist, and I have been a massage therapist and body worker for about 30 years. And I started doing cranial therapy about 9 years ago, and I do that pretty much exclusively now. And the reason for that is because cranial therapy addresses the spinal cord. And the spinal cord is the main frame of the computer of your central nervous system. If you have restrictions in your spinal cord, you'll have restrictions in density and pain in the rest of your body.
Oh, this is going to feel so good.
So the first thing I'm going to do is slide my hand underneath your tailbone. Cranial therapy removes those restrictions by starting at the tailbone and working all the way to the top of the spine. We're working through the cranial fluid, the cerebral spinal fluid. That fluid rolls like a wave pattern through your body, up into your cranium, back into your tailbone, up into your cranium, back into your tailbone, all day long. So my hand is right at your bottom of your spine, your tailbone, and the triangle-shaped bone at the bottom of your spine, called your sacrum. My other hand is underneath your skull. So between my hands is your spinal cord, and I'm going to start stretching your spinal cord and releasing tension in your body. The brainwave patterns shift from beta, which is a consciousness state, or high beta, which is an anxiety state. Most Westerners are in some form of high beta brainwave patterns. When you receive cranial therapy, you go into a theta brainwave pattern, which is a meditative state. Puts you into a deep relaxation state. So you come out of the cranial session feeling like you've had your spinal cord stretched, like you're loose from the inside out, and that your nervous system, your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight, your anxiety has been completely calmed down. So I'm listening to your spinal fluid. It's flowing up into your cranium right now. And I'm following it, and I'm giving your body a little stretch. I'm using about 5 grams of pressure and allowing the tension to release from your cord and therefore into your fascia, into that band of webbing. There we go. And as that releases, your sacrum and your tailbone and your lower back kind of falls and relaxes into my hand. Can you feel that? Mm-hmm. And so now we're going to follow the fluid, and it's releasing. As it releases, it kind of feels a little warm. Can you feel that? Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like the webbing has been contracted and like a fist squeezed. As that webbing releases, it releases tension in the form of heat. Most people hold a lot of tension in their diaphragm. So we're just going to work with releasing the spinal cord that will then release the nerves that feed your diaphragm and your upper GI, so that it will relax all of the organs that are between my hands. And now you've got that heat again. Do you feel that heat? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just your diaphragm relaxing and your stomach. There we go. So I'm just following the fluid. I'm doing the same thing. It's going up into your cranium. So now I'm going to go from this band to the one that's right at the top of your shoulders and the bottom of your neck. Now between my hands is the part of the spinal cord, the nerves that feed your lungs and your heart come out of this part of the spinal cord. So we want to make sure that that part of your spinal cord doesn't have any restrictions in it, so that the heart and the lungs can work efficiently. We're just letting that release. I'm just going to let my fingers sink into the musculature here. So as the cranial fluid flows up into your cranium, I'm going to put my fingers on either side of your neck and use the fingers at the base of your skull to distract your cranium away from the first vertebral body, releasing tension. And then we're stretching the neck laterally from side to side to release tension where the hole is in the bottom of your skull. That's where your brain stem and your spinal cord join. We want to make sure there's a lot of flexibility and fluidity in that area. So we're just stretching that out. There we go.
Oh, I feel good. I feel good.
How was that?
Well, it was very relaxing. And then there was just this one moment where something shifted and I felt my back kind of relax a little, and then I heard myself snoring.
Phil has a lot of restrictions in his lower back. I think you've had a herniated disc or bulged disc.
Right.
And that makes the dural tube around the spinal cord really tight and compressed. So we release that. That correlates with a lot of tension that starts at the base of your neck and goes all the way up here. So we released the neck away from the lower back. If the lower back is tight and restricted, it pulls on the rubber band of the spinal cord in the neck. So you got to release the lower back to get the neck to let go. The other thing about this, it takes about 24 hours to release the tension, almost like a spiral pattern out of the cord. And I tell people that the next 24 hours is kind of a reorganization period.
Okay.
And you want to not pick heavy things up. If you can, rest, sleep, like you'll feel like sleeping. You might even feel really tired all day tomorrow.
Right.
And it's just your sympathetic nervous system that's been doing do has calmed down. So let yourself be slow. Let yourself rest. It's the best thing.
All right, I'll do that. So this is Phil Gordon with bestchiropracticpatient.com signing off. Annie, would you like to remind the folks at home where they can find you on the web?
Yes, my website is www.TheStillPoint.info.
Beautiful.